Hi guys, Kelly Harris here. Short throw or long throw polishers? Which do you use? Which do you prefer? Do you know the difference? I'm here to explain the difference between short throw orbit machines and long throw orbit machines. And I'm going to help explain what pad you'd use with which machine to give you the best results. Stay tuned. We have 8, 12, 15, 21. I've seen a 20mm machine, I've seen a 9mm machine, but basically you get the idea. So we're speaking about short throw versus long throw. The detailing community has split them into half and categorized them short versus long. So why would they do that? Surely they all work the same. This is when we're going to find out they don't. So guys, I'm going to help educate a little bit on why we have 8, 12, 15, 21mm orbit or short throw and long throw orbit machines. All these polishers are actually very easy to use for a beginner compared to a rotary machine. But traditionally years ago, all we had was the 8mm machine. Now, as the orbit size goes up, there is a more violent action and it's a heavier cut. What we've got essentially is one's doing an orbit that size, and I'm going to exaggerate this, and one's doing an orbit that size. This will be really weird. Both my hands at the same time. The larger size stroke, the more cut you have. It's as simple as that. We're not talking at the moment about which pad we're using, which compound. We're just doing everything like for like. So it's the same pad, same compound, same spindle speed, everything's the same. You can even be the pressure you're pushing down at, exactly the same paint. If I was to pick up this machine compared to this machine, this one is going to give me considerably less cut than this machine. We've got a more violent action on this side compared to this side. Now, that does mean more violent action or more cutting action is creating more friction. So we have these foam pads, they get warm or warmer. So again, like for like, if I was to use this one with a short, this one with a long, this one's going to wear down the paint quicker, correct quicker, but also wear down your pad quicker. Because as these foam pads warm up, they become softer and they change their characteristics. Now, we don't want pads to change their characteristics halfway through the cutting action or halfway around a car. We want it to be consistent as possible. So we had a solution here at Lake Country Manufacturing. They look identical there, and they are actually the same foam. But when you go side on, you'll notice that one has a thicker amount of foam, the orange foam, one has thinner, and a harder, more dense lower layer, the interface layer. That's called an SDO or standard duty orbital pad, SDO, and we've got HDO, heavy duty orbital pad. We've got one for long throw, one for short throw. This pad here on a short throw, there's not too much side to side movement because the action of the machine is quite a small action going round and round. Once you get up to this larger throw and you're doing a larger orbit, what you can start getting is a flex happening in the pad, sort of side-to-side lateral motion. I can remember a long time ago, I've even watched these videos, I've seen threads about this, before we had these holes in the pads as well, that the foam would disintegrate, really, collapse in the middle. What was happening on the high orbit machines, and we are talking up 10 years ago when these first come out and people were putting incorrect pads at the time, that's all they had on these large throw machines, was there was so much movement internally in the sponge is actually rocking to and fro. Then it's getting hot and there was no center hole. So what's happening was the pad was overheating and the foam was starting to disintegrate and it used to collapse in the middle. So this sandwich layer has massively reduced this unwanted side-to-side movement. I'm losing cut through unwanted flex in a pad. What happens is the backing plate moves in a constant orbit, but the friction between the pad and the paint acts like a brake. So the foam twists and distorts and absorbs some of the orbital movement. Some people call this orbital stall. The thicker the foam, the more movement is absorbed and the less cutting action will be done. And of course, the effect is amplified when you use a larger orbit machine. You can see the thicker foam actually tucks under the edge more, the pad creases and distorts more, which results in less motion on the pad face, so essentially it's doing less work. When we add a firm interface layer, we minimise the losses through flexing, which means we get the full amount of cut we want from the foam. And it's a controlled and consistent pad to work with. You might have noticed there's only 3 colours there: blue, orange and black. This is the same foam on the HDO pads as it is on the SDO pad. It's just the interface construction is different to the SDO. We have heavy cutting in blue, light cutting or heavy polishing in the orange, and then the finishing in the black. Now, we've simplified the system, but there's quite a wide ranging cut levels there. And with these free foams, you can transform heavily marred paint into beautiful refined finish. On smaller machines, like these here, the SDO pad range is perfect for the task. If you're using the larger orbit polishing machines, make sure you're using the HDO range to get the maximum results and the best performance possible. Choose the right pad for the right machine, you get the best results. Hopefully that makes sense. Have you got a preferred orbit size you like to work with? I have. Not going to say exactly what that is now. I'd love to hear what you prefer. Comment down below. I'd love to read your comments about which size orbit, and in my head I might make a little poll up. It'd be really fascinating to see which one of these four is going to be a winner. Guys, I hope it's been interesting and educational. Thank you for watching.